Hey everyone, welcome to another Anime Kingdom manga review. See my title below. Yes, this is on chapter 543 of Fairy Tail, and there is only 3 chapters left after this one. And honestly, I mean, we already knew that this is how it was going to be. It was going to be rushed a lot, but it's honestly so sad because honestly, after, sure, this arc definitely has not been the best. It's pretty damn bad. But I really felt that if they really gave it more time, more than just this amount of chapters, they could have had a really good, finale, huge battle between the 7 Dragon Slayers going up against the Dragon King Agnolia. We've been waiting pretty much for the Dragon Slayers to go ahead and actually do what they're supposed to do and beat a dragon. And of course, what would feel better than having them finally be able to beat a dragon and for it to be the strongest dragon, which is of course Agnolia, But instead, it feels just like Mashima doesn't care at all because he has another, series in the works that he'd rather do, and it's kind of like he's just trying to just get this over with. He doesn't care how it ends really, and like the dialogue purely really honestly shows how that is, in the fact that like in this chapter especially, Natsu starts talking about like, oh, there's not just bad dragons, there's actually good ones too. It's good and bad, just like humans. There's some good dragons, there's some bad dragons, there's some kind dragons, there's some not kind dragons. And I'm over here like, I understand what he's going for, but it felt so weird and it didn't feel like it was really doing anything to Agnolia anyway, that it's just, I don't know, it didn't really make sense. And when Agnolia starts talking about how, what, you think that, but, dragons killed my family, dragons killed this girl, and I'm over here like, wait, who, what family, what girl is he talking about, We didn't have a backstory on Agnolia, did we? To which, of course, I did see in the forums that people were saying that that is something that happens in Dragon Cry, the, Fairy Tail Dragon Cry, the movie, which I'm over here like, what? Well, that sucks then, because I haven't found it subbed yet, so I can't even watch the movie, which means I can't really feel much about this story. It feels so weird with Agnolia being the final boss, the final villain, when honestly, in my opinion, there has not been enough development to get into this fight to make him really feel like, holy shit, this is a villain to, end everything with. Considering the fact that you just have him showing himself saying that, his whole goal is to destroy everything, and there's not really a reason why behind it. It's like he just wants to destroy everything because he wants to destroy everything. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really make me feel like really hyped and into the battle. And then we even get to the point where, like I said before, there's not enough chapters to really fully have this battle as hype as it really could have been. Sure, like I said before, the arc honestly is not, this last arc has definitely not been good, but I feel that maybe they could have redeemed themselves if this was an amazing action scene, an action battle to finally end the series, and then have, the after story after as well, to make everyone feel happy with how I'm guessing it will be a happy ending. And you have like how Naruto ended with all the shippings gained together and showing what everyone does after all of this chaos and shit happens, and that of course is going to take 1 to 2 chapters, which means that of course either we're not going to get a lot of after story, which I really do want, because I really want to know what happens to everyone. That's the happy ending we at least, I'll be at least be happy about, even though the rest of this arc was bad. If you give me a happy ending, I can at least say, okay, at least I have some closure, But if you don't have that, then the battle is going to be severely, worse as well. But I feel that there's really no way to make the battle honestly good and well. It ended the way a lot of people predicted, which is of course all the Dragon Slayers giving their power up to Natsu. And I mean, it just seems like a cop out. Like, it was just like a lot of things that happened in this arc already. Like, it could have been a lot better, but instead it's like, you know what? Let's just throw in everyone giving him his power, and somehow, I mean, when they're all using their powers at, Agnolia, together, it's not strong enough. Put them into Natsu, that's good enough already. And I'm over here like, you know what, whatever. That's just how it's gonna end, And I really don't like that, but there's no other way around it. It's the only way to end it with this amount of time, which, like I keep saying, it really does feel like it doesn't matter anymore. It's just trying to, Machima's just trying to finish this arc and then get over to his next series, which really does suck because, yes, I know a lot of people have been hating on Fairy Tail, and yes, I've been kind of hating on it as well with this last arc. But before this arc, I still thought that Fairy Tail was really good. I still enjoyed it, and, it was one of my favorite mangas to read. But this last arc has just gotten just to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, just I don't know how you can end it without making it just seem like this is the last thing we get to remember. Are you kidding me? That's just it's so sad, honestly, because I really do wish they would have ended Fairy Tail in a good way instead of ending it like how it did with this. Even the point where we have, like I said before, with Zareth and Mavis, kind of the way it would have ended was really nice. And then of course they have Makarov coming back to life, and it's like, oh my gosh, you just ruined that chapter. Every single time it seems like it's a possibility for this to come back, it's just thrown back down to the ground, and it honestly really does suck. Really, just and then of course, the whole part in the last chapter, the whole reasoning why I was saying that there's not enough time, obviously first off being the fact that the Dragon Slayers cannot defeat Agnolia, to which there's no build-up. It's just, hey, let's just give, all our powers to Natsu, and that's how he's going to win. And then, of course, the physical version of Agnolia destroyed all the ships. So you're like, okay, well, there goes their stupid plan of making him sick, motion sickness. And then, of course, using Fairy Sphere on him. But I guess not, because this part, it kind of does make sense. And I don't know if it's the fact that my standards are really low, but that part was actually okay. Like, I didn't really care, I didn't really, hate it that much, honestly, with them being able to make the ship, which is a smart idea. And then of course, I don't know how Urza was able to knock him into the damn ship, but she does, because that's how Urza just is, period. And because of that, guess what, yeah, just how we all predicted as well, everyone holding hands, giving their powers together, the power of Nakama, the power of friendship, and then boom, Fairy Sphere is going to be cast, and that was the end of the chapter. Overall, I mean, what can I say? This is just how it's going to end. Don't get your hopes up on everything being really great, but my only hopes is that at least the after story will be good. So after this next chapter, which is probably gonna be a rush train wreck, we'll finally be able to see what happens to everyone and get some closure at least, So yeah, that's all I really gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom manga review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I'm missing you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy it, if you like, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And as always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How did you feel about this chapter? Good, bad, whatever you guys want to say. And until next time, guys, see ya.